Centre-right parties enable fascists. That's a big and bold claim, I admit. But I am talking right now about the Labour Party in the UK. I think they could enable fascism in this country. If you want to know what I mean about fascism, watch the video I've recently put out on that subject, in which I explain what it means and how it works, and for whose benefit it is run. But at the moment, I'm worried about why we end up with a risk from fascism. And the reality is that over the last 40 years, we have had governments who have not served the interests of the people of this country. Margaret Thatcher introduced the idea of neoliberalism into British politics, and she delivered it very effectively. I remember the 1979 general election when she swept to power. It was the first general election I could vote in. So I, at the age of 66, have only lived under neoliberal governments that I have had the opportunity to choose. That's kind of scary, because it means that most people in this country have never chosen anything else. But neoliberal governments that have always existed to serve the interests of wealth and the powerful elite in this country, they have never cared about ordinary people. They have never delivered the types of program that existed from 1945 to 1975 in this country, aimed at delivering universal well-being and increase in income for everyone in society. Instead, they've been indifferent to increases in inequality. They've been indifferent to regional suffering. They've been indifferent to the way in which the regions of the UK have become remote from the interests of London and the South East. They just don't care. And the consequence is that they have left open an enormous part of the population who are totally alienated from the political process. And with good reason, because the political process has not served those people's interests. As a result, a vacuum has been created. And politics, as well as everything else in life, abhors a vacuum. Something has to fill it. And the far right are trying to fill it. The Conservatives have moved further and further right-wing. Nigel Farage has always been there trying to exploit the situation, and has successfully on occasions. Remember, he was very good at winning European parliamentary elections, and Reform looks like that it will have a presence in Parliament after July the 4th. But the fact is, that could not have happened if the centre-right parties, originally the Conservatives, and ever more so the Labour Party, to the point now where the Labour Party has taken over the centre-right ground that used to be occupied by, for example, David Cameron's Conservative Party. Those two have facilitated this move by abandoning the left and all the commitments that the left of centre parties in the UK, mainly Labour, used to have to working people, people who couldn't work, the young, the elderly, those left behind. Those people have nowhere to go. They're left aside now. And the consequence of that is that we have seen them move to fascism because others have not tried to address the needs of ordinary people. Those ordinary people are alienated. Fascism is for them the answer, or at least it's sold to them as the answer, even though it never will actually solve any problem that they know of, as fascism never has for anybody but the ultra-rich. I am worried. I'm worried that the Labour Party will not transform this country, will not deliver for the ordinary people of this country, will not make the changes that are necessary to ensure that the UK's regions are genuinely levelled up in a way that the Tories never meant to do. I'm worried that if none of those things happen, then we will still see the rise of fascism in this country. It's real, it's a risk, but we have to challenge it, and we've got 5 years to do so.